Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. So day 2, the elves begin to pick up camp on the beach, or set camp on the beach, decide whose tent gets to go the closest to snack storage. A giant rock, paper, scissors tournament is already in progress. Rock, paper, scissors is a game between 2 players, but each game, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we know that. And then ends with draw, okay. Appreciative of your help yesterday, one elf gives you an encrypted strategy guide, your puzzle input. That will say we'll be sure to help you win. The first column is what your opponent is going to play. A for rock, B for paper, C for scissors. The second column, suddenly the elf is called away. Okay. The second column, you reason, must be what you should play in response. X for rock, Y for paper, Z for scissors. Winning every time would be suspicious, so the responses must have been carefully chosen. The winner of the whole tournament is the player with the highest score. Your total score is the sum of your scores for each round. The score for a single round is the score for the shape you selected. 1 for rock, 2 for paper, 3 for scissors. Okay. Plus the score for the outcome of the round. 0 if you lost, 3 if it was a draw, 6 if you win. So if you win with scissors, you would get 9 points, I guess. Since you can't be sure if the elf is trying to help you or trick you, you should calculate the score you would get if you were to follow the strategy guide. For example, suppose you were given the following strategy guide. A, Y, B, X, C, Z. This strategy guide predicts and recommends the following. In the first round, your opponent will choose rock. You should choose paper. This ends in a win. Score 8, okay. Second round, your opponent will choose paper and you should choose rock. This ends in a loss for you with a score of 1. And the third round is a draw with both players choosing scissors, giving a score of 6. In this example, if you were to follow the strategy guide, you would get a total score of 15, 8 plus 1 plus 6. What would your total score be if everything goes exactly according to your strategy guide? Okay, so I guess we'll get the input first. Okay, and then we don't want the space delimited, we just want to read them by lines, and we want to read them as strings. I think that was what I called it. Yeah. Okay, and then for these, we're just going to take in a list of string. I'm going to return a long. I don't think we need a long again, but always good these puzzles to start with that. And then basically, so the first part is easy. We just want to take our score for if we did X, Y, or Z. Okay, so what I want to do is basically for line and input, we're going to want to split them apart. So we want ours and theirs. And they're on a space. So that should give us an array of 2 items. The first or 0th index would be theirs, the second index would be ours. And then the score for us is easy enough. So basically, we're going to also want to total score, obviously. So when hands of 1, that's our hand, is going to be X, or paper is Y, I guess. So Y, we're going to say, so Y is paper and paper is 2. And then X is going to be rock, and rock gives us 1. And so Z will be scissors, and scissors gives us 3. So that's easy enough. This should, and then if you're going to use when as an expression, you have to make it exhaustive. So you have to add an else statement or use a enum. But anyway, so this takes care of our the points for our hand, and then we just need to add 3 points if we win. So we can just do the same thing. In fact, we can even put it in this if we wanted to. So we could say, like, if I guess hands 0 is equal to whatever, we could do it that way. I'm going to try to just keep it clean, and we'll just leave it with 2 separate statements. So when hands yeah, okay, so what we should just do is when hands 0 is equal to hands 1, then we know that's a draw, and a draw gives us 1 point, or 3 points. And then if hands 0 is equal to A, so if they had, I think that's rock, so if they choose rock, and hands 1 is equal to Y, that's through 6, right? Because we had paper, and then I'll try to keep this. So X is also rock, so we don't have to worry about X is rock because that would be covered in this first win. It would just cut out after the first time it matches. But then if it's Z, then that would be 0. And then basically we can just copy and paste this twice more. Again, probably not the cleanest way to do this. I'm sure I'll have updated code in the GitHub repository down below. So you can do it like that. Now, one thing we could do also to clean this up a bit is we have to have an else clause here anyway. So we can just get rid of all of these zeros. And so we only care about the tie condition or the win conditions, basically. Makes it a little bit cleaner. And then at that point, I think we just return total score and should be ready to roll. Oh, the check failed, right, because we want a total score of 15 on the first go. Gotta remember to update that. Check failed again. Okay, not a problem. So what we want to do is for each line, let's print out hands 0, hands 1, and I guess total score. All right, so A and Y, we should get 8 points. We get 8 points. B and X, this ends in a loss, we should get 1 point, and we get 7. So we're saying that we're winning on B, and we shouldn't. Okay, so 8 points, 1 point, and then we should get 6 points because it was a draw. Oh, right, because their hands don't match our hands. Yeah, just not realizing, probably should have just done arithmetic to add to here, but I can just do that for this one. That's ugly. I'll clean that up. But basically, so now we're saying this string, the first character, we're going to turn it into an int. We're going to add 23 to it, and we're going to compare it to the second string, first character, to an int. And now we can see that it basically gives us all of our stuff. And so it's going to tell us the answer for number 1. It's 11,873. I'll go back to Advent here, and we'll see if that works. Yay, 1 gold star. Okay, and we'll continue to part 2. The elf finishes helping with the tent and sneaks back over to you. Anyway, the second column says how the round needs to end. X means you need to lose. Y means you need to end the round in a draw. And Z means you need to win. Good luck. The total score is still calculated the same way, but now you need to figure out what the shape to choose so the round ends as indicated. The example now above goes like this. In the first round, your opponent will choose a rock, and you need to end in a draw. So you also need to choose rock. This gives you a score of 4. In the second round, your opponent will choose paper. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Now that you're correctly decrypting the ultra top secret strategy guide, you get a total score of 12. Following the Ellis instructions for the second column, what will your total score be if everything goes exactly according to your strategy guide? Okay, so that actually is slightly easier, I think, because what we're going to do then, we'll copy all this over. Yeah, so basically it's exactly flipped from before for the logic. So we can still do this portion. So XYZ for win, lost, draw, that's all fine. The difference is we don't want to do our hand, we want to do their hand in the win condition basically. So when when their hand is an A and we want to lose, if their hand, that was rock, we want to lose, we need to use scissors. Scissors gives us 3 points. If theirs was rock and we also were tying them, so we need a rock, that would again be 1 point for a rock, and so obviously 2 points here. And they should all just be inverted or recycled from there. And so the one we haven't had is a 2, 3, and a 1. Okay. And then let's go back. Okay, and completed day 2. Cool. Yeah, I'm probably going to clean this up a little bit. Again, I will keep the cleanest code in the GitHub repository. But anyway, see you guys tomorrow.